Yeah, we should be okay now. Sorry about that. Everything should be fine now. So we should be okay. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay now. Sorry, like I said, I'm running a little bit behind, but we should be right on time. You should gotta have sound now. So hopefully, you do have sound. Let's see if the sound is working. The sound should be okay now. So yeah, you guys should have it now. So it's a little delay, so just hold on. There you go. So yeah, so a lot of people are panicking over this crash. And I thought we would jump on and talk about that first. The thing about it is that a lot of people don't understand what's happening right now. You got to understand is that for 2 years we've had a bull market, right? We have stocks like Nvidia, other stocks up 10, Oklo up 15 times, but almost 22 times from where it was before, even post crash, right? And a lot of people are panicking. A young lady wrote me earlier this week, and she sent me this. She sent me a video, and the video was some guy. You got to remember when the emotions are high, whenever the market is booming or when it's busting, the influencers and the creators out there look at that as an opportunity because they want your emotions, right? They want you emotional. So they'll put out whatever's happening, right? That's why when markets boom, everybody's talking about XRP. When markets go, they always go with the markets, right? And I don't know why you guys follow them, but you guys apparently do. So, so I get a video, and you know how much I hate that, but I try to walk people through it. I don't like y'all guys sending me videos of other people. What do you think this guy thinks? What do you think that guy? You guys, I don't want to go down that tangent, but do you send those people my videos and ask them what they think? I highly doubt that. So I don't know, maybe I'm being stupid. I'm not perfect. So she sent me this video, and this dude is saying that XRP is going to zero because Ripple is manipulating the market, and they're just it's basically a big money grab for them or whatever. And I told her, I said the fact that you're sending me this shows me that you're emotional. And I'm not picking on the young girl. She actually figured out, she learned a lesson I was trying to tell her. I said, the fact that you sent me this, and we're going to talk about JP Morgan and strategy as well. That's something I'll talk about before we get into, because that's something I want to talk about. That you're sending me these emotions. I said, the key is not the information. The key is to not, I want you to listen to both sides of the argument. Somebody comes on and said, they hate crypto, listen to that. Somebody says they love crypto, listen to that. The key is not the information, is to not to get emotional about what somebody's saying on the screen or what reporter, newspaper, whatever you read is saying. Always make logical decisions regardless of what's saying, who's saying, how about fat. No, it doesn't matter. And that's the key here, is don't make emotional decisions, right? And before we get on, I want to talk a little bit about, somebody says still nothing. He's the only one that don't have sound. Maybe he's early. So I want to talk a little bit about this strategy situation with JP Morgan. If you guys remember, I told you strategy was going to collapse. It collapsed. I'm not, you understand is that a lot of times people who are new to stocks and new to investing, they still have that emotional connection in their brain. So if you look at a situation like Microstrategy, like I did almost a year ago, over a year and a half ago, and I said, look, man, it's going to collapse. It's trading at a premium. And whenever Bitcoin goes down, that premium will collapse and it will fall at a faster rate. You remember I said that? I want to know who remembers me saying that, because that's what happened. I said, be careful with Microstrategy, because you'll lose money. You'll lose more money in a downturn. And there was other people out there telling people to buy it. And I said, no, that's a bad decision, because you're better off investing directly into Bitcoin, because you'll make almost the same amount of money now, because it was already too late. They already were trading at a premium. You got to get it before the premium. But now that it was trading at a premium, it was already too late. So you might as well invest directly into Bitcoin, or just don't mess with it at all, because it's too late, right? So a lot of people invested in it. What happened? The premium collapsed, and MicroStrategy is down like 70% already. And this is a common situation. It was some people out there that were claiming to be stock people, some people that used to work for me. Your MicroStrategy, and I told the people, I said, do not tell people that, because MicroStrategy, some people haven't been through this. Some things regardless of how intelligent you are, regardless of how much you learn fastly or quickly, you have to have experience. You have to go. Most people can't learn certain things until they go through it. And then after that, they can understand. So, I mean, anytime that happens, that's a premium, right? That means that everybody wants this stock so bad that it's trading above the value it should. Now, there's different reasons why a stock will trade high. Like Oklo will trade high because of the forward potential. And some of it's hype. I'm going to admit that. But something like NVIDIA will trade high because of potential and hype. Now, MicroStrategy has no potential. It only holds Bitcoin. Now, what's the potential? They're going to buy more Bitcoin? I mean, and I told you, I said, and let's break down this situation at a lower level because a lot of people don't understand. Let's get back to the meat of it because some people don't understand exactly what we're talking about. MicroStrategy is a company run by Michael Saylor. And now I met the guy one time, and I'm not saying anything bad about him, but I'm telling you something's going on with him. So I'm at the Bitcoin conference in 2000. He's a nice. I mean, it may not even be his fault. There's a difference between running a scam and then getting caught up in a bad situation. There's a difference on that. Some people start with the intent of the fraud. Some people just end up in a bad situation and know it's going to end badly. That's two different things. Now, so I get in the elevator going to my hotel, and I guess he was on the same floor as me. So we're going up to the hotel, and his bodyguard comes in, opens the door, and then Michael Saylor gets in right across from the elevator from me. So me and my friend, I'm with a friend, we're talking to Michael Saylor, and you know what Michael Saylor said? And this is a dead true story. He looked at my friend. My friend had Bitcoin, some Bitcoin Nikes on, some Air Force Ones that were customized for Bitcoin. He said, "I like your shoes, man." I was like, that's a weird thing to say. I mean, they're nice shoes, and then it hit me. He didn't look us in the eyes. He was looking at the ground the whole time. Now, this is a billionaire, supposedly. He didn't even look us in the eyes. Now, why would somebody be like that? Because, and I could tell from the way he acted and the way he carried himself, it's almost like a man who knew the jig was up. I'm not putting anything. Sometimes you can believe in something. I've done that before. I've been in business where I really believed in something, and in the end, I realized, man, it ain't gonna work. But you got to keep pushing it because you still have to go for that 1-2% chance for your shareholders, for people who believed in you, for your investors. But in the back of your mind, you know the jig is up, it's over. And that's how he was looking. The mic is gone. Is the mic gone, or is just that dude? Because if it's just him, I'm gonna block him. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a con man, because if you go back to 2013, he did say Bitcoin was a joke and a con. And all of a sudden he jumped into it. I think he's a man of opportunity. He saw an opportunity. He tried to create it. Now, MicroStrategy doesn't make anything. So yeah, I do believe that MicroStrategy should fall. Now, the problem is that the whole crypto market will pay for that as well. That's the sad thing, is that when that falls, everybody's going to panic. Oh, God, it's all falling down. The sky's falling. And that's the end of it. May be down for 6 months to a year because of MicroStrategy. I never agreed with that strategy of him buying all the Bitcoin because his company doesn't produce anything. And it's trading on the stock market as if it's a regular company that trades and has revenue and has employees and has profits and has products and services and has nothing. All it does is has Bitcoin in a big vault. And it probably is a 4 or 5 person company. I mean, only 3, 4 people you need to run it. So yeah, that's my, I mean, I think it does need, I think that's a dumb idea to have a company that all they do is buy Bitcoin. Now, if you're going to do that, create a trust and say it's the MicroStrategy trust, that's perfectly fine. And you can do that, or say an ETF and have it, and change to an ETF or something like that. But having it as a company is pretending to be a company that makes profit, that's going to have all these services and products and banking and stuff, and just buying Bitcoin. Like, let me break it down one more time. This is what he did. This is what he did. And I'm gonna break this down. So what this is Michael Saylor's whole entire company. This is MicroStrategy. He said they have powerful tools, and nobody uses those tools, Jonathan. I mean, MicroStrategy, you see how the market cap of that company, it's bigger than a lot of companies that have hundreds of employees. Now, why should it be that? No, they have products, but nobody uses it. I want you to name me a Fortune 500 company that uses that software. They have software. That doesn't mean they have products and services. Nobody uses them, though. Their principal, look at their revenue. Their principal product and service is buying Bitcoin. That's it. They don't make a lot of money. If they're powerful BI tools, whatever you sell, making so much money, why have they only showed 17% returns? I mean, 17% profit over 4 years since they've been doing this Bitcoin reserve strategy. 17, now, not 17% a quarter, not 17% a year, 17% the entire time. How is that possible? If they have these, you said they have these great products and that's impossible. With the amount of intention he has, the amount of everybody, amount of influence he has, he could have done that. That product is not doing anything. It's just something they put on the website so they can say, hey, we got a product. Because they have to say something or it's an illegal stock. They have to say they're doing something. They have to do that just to get around the fact that they're not a real true stock. They're more like a trust. So, like I said, I may even do that. I was thinking about doing an XRP one. Like, if the laws let you do it, I'll just do one with XRP. I'm going to New York next week to talk about some of the ETFs and things I'm going to start next year. And I may start get a pack, and just create a company, and just buy XRP. And I'm not tearing him down. Like, hey Don, I think that he meant well. I don't believe he's a scam. I don't believe he's a con. I just think that he knows the jig is up, right? And it didn't work out like he thought it would. Now, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. But that does. So going forward, you should have caution in that. So now, since my rant's over, let's start. So let's get into this a little bit more. I changed my setup. That TV behind me was like messing up the cameras. This is a lot clearer now. So now you can see my clear face. So hopefully it looks okay on this camera. So we have questions. So do you feel, let me see, something's offered, design. See, so she said, do you feel the need to sell and do you feel to sell and lose whatever profit we lost? I don't know what that means, man. I can't answer that question. I don't know what that question is, but let's get into it because we haven't really talked about what, let's move on. Gmail. We haven't even gotten to the episode yet. So welcome to Strategy Sunday, where every week we get you ready for what's coming for the next 7 days. We don't want you reacting. We want you positioned. I'm your host, Armando Pantoja. Today's episode is filled with moves that could define your week, quarter, maybe even your entire life. It could be tonight could be one of the biggest roadmaps or opportunity cycles we've seen in years. Nasdaq could be setting up for a bull run in 2026. Bitcoin is starting to come back. The drop is starting more and more to look like a mid-cycle reset. Nuclear power is becoming unavoidable as AI drains the grid of energy. And crypto could be entering a moment that could define everything. Most people will panic, but not you because you follow me. And tonight we will break down the real signals and break it down from the noise. So if you want clarity why everybody else is panicking, stay locked in. The next few minutes could change how you invest for the next few years. All happening fast. This is where the biggest winners of 2025, 26, and beyond are made Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, history says that the Nasdaq there will be a bull run with the Nasdaq in 2026. The Nasdaq has been in a 3-year bull run, which seems ridiculous, but history suggests that the momentum normally does continue into the 4th year. Every long-lasting Nasdaq bull market over the last 50 years kept climbing into that 4th year after the 3-year mark. Today, we're going to break down why analysts expect more upside and 3 stocks that could do well. in this environment. Netflix is also doing good. I mean, they did a split and it's doing good. I bought it and I sold it. I couldn't make any profit on that, but it's still a good opportunity. I just thought it was a better one. He said, I used to use MicroStrategy products back in 2011. It wasn't Bitcoin products. There was another type. MicroStrategy is a software company. And for the most of its history, it's only had 7 to 8 employees. And look at the questions. The CNC is open, and people say, well, this is when people look and don't quite want to join, don't want to go. But this is the time when you should join. This is the time when you need guidance. This is the time when you need a community that picks out the best plays. This could be your opportunity to plug into a community built for entrepreneurs, investors who want to grow their income and sharpen their mindset, level up every single day. Here's the truth most people never hear. During market crashes, guidance matters more than ever. History shows us that investors who stay plugged in during the crashes, stay educated, have a strong community around them, and make strategic moves do a lot better in downturns than anybody else in that cycle. Crashes create the biggest wealth transfers. In fact, billionaire net worth grew 3 to 4 times in COVID, but only for the people who know what to do. If you ever made money, close the deal, or any kind of real change in your life from something you learned in the CNC, drop the money bag in the comments. If you would, drop how much money you made in the CNC. Your story could be exactly what somebody else needs to stop hesitating, get off the couch, or like they say in New Orleans, get off the porch. Even in the South, they say that. And start moving. Inside the academy, you get access to strategies, mentorship, network, and thousands of people have used to build real wealth. We have I think 40 millionaires so far. We gave out some awards last time. We inducted, I think, 3 or 4 new people into the millionaires. You guys saw it. You're at the events, especially when the market gets rough. Now, DM me the word CNC or click the link in the bio to join, or go to jointhecnc.com or DM me the word CNC. Let's look at some comments here. Did you sell any of your Oklo during this high? No, I've not sold any Oklo. I haven't sold anything. Everything that I'm buying is long term. So only thing I sold was Netflix. I appreciate you, Q123XYZ. MicroStrategy is going to explode. They're trying to sort it. Can we talk about how Japanese yen value? We're not going to talk about that tonight. You're definitely appreciated. I appreciate you, Mr. PT2013. Nobody's putting how much they made. Put what you made in the comments. So somebody said, sorry, you didn't understand my question. I was asking if you feel to sell Bitcoin at the moment, though most of us who are invested are just losing profit, not principal. You don't lose anything until you sell. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's coming back, and that's what we're going to talk about later tonight. I strongly believe it's a mid-cycle retracement. I don't think that it's a crash. I think that on Monday we're going to start seeing things. Because think about this. Okay, let's go back to the most similar crash in history. The most similar crash in history was the dot-com boom. And a lot of people compare AI to dot-com, but what they leave out is that the dot-com boom did not crash because of rumors and people talking and maybe, and it's a bubble, not a bubble. Oh, it's going to be a bubble. No way, this is real. That's not the dot-com bubble continued growing until 3 major companies, including Microsoft, had earnings that was so bad they had to put out guidance. Man, think about this. A lot of you guys haven't seen this because you haven't been in a bear market. But sometimes a market can be so bad that the company is called putting guidance out before earnings. They tell you, look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. Literally they put out a press release and they say, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, earnings are not what they're supposed to be. You're gonna be shocked. So I'm gonna tell you that right now because in 3 months we got to give you earnings, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, it's not gonna be that great. So they do that to prepare or soften the landing. That happened in Dotcom. Several companies start putting those out well before their earnings calls. And that's what caused the market to go down. That's what caused the AI bubble to burst. It wasn't because some dude, this can't be right, AI. I bought oil stocks. Yeah, this can't be real. That's all this is now, is a bunch of naysayers and haters who can't understand the transformation we're going through. That's what's happening now. There's no structural or financial reason that AI is going down. NVIDIA reported stellar earnings. It's because somebody says futures are way up or down, Rick. You just said futures are way right now. I mean, up or down. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. But that's the problem, is that you don't understand that, is that there's no reason for it. That's why the dot-com bubble fell. It wasn't because of somebody saying it in the office. It was because of something that actually happened. So like I said, I think we're going to see recovery next week. And, I should have bought some more on Friday, man. I was looking at the phone. I already put $150,000. I put almost $200,000 in the market last week. And I almost put another 50 in the Bitcoin on Friday. It was like 330. And I said, man, I should send 50,000 over so I could throw it into Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum this weekend. And I didn't do it. Dang it, I should have done it. But I got 200,000 in. So, and I actually was going to buy a G-Wagon on Saturday. And I said, nah, let's see what the market's doing next week. I'm going to trade my Escalade in. I think that's better. Let me see. I never had all I drove is gigantic SUVs the last 10 years. Let's get a slightly smaller one to see what happens. But let's talk about AI a little bit. Then we're going to move on with the content. Is that, and I've been putting videos about them. I'm gonna put one on in the morning. Is that AI at its core? And this is why I'm bullish on nuclear power. This is something that we've never seen as a society. Now, traditionally, when we create products, we value all of history. When we valued products, we valued stocks and investments in companies. What we do is we say, what does that company make? Now, what does that company make? He makes wooden dolls. Okay. How much is the wood? Oh, the wood, they get it at $1 a pound. So write down the dollar. How much is the labor? Oh, the labor is, they can make one wooden doll with $1 worth of labor. Oh, you get $2. How much do they sell the dolls for? Oh, they sell the dolls for $10. Wow, 80%. Oh, that's how most companies are valued. Now, there's a little bit more complex in that, but that's basically it. Raw materials plus input, and whatever you put output, and that's it, right? So that's our entire stock market history is based on that principle. And now we have a company like AI coming, companies like industry like AI coming. Now they say, well, they're taking these silicone in, they're making these wafers, and they're going out. Well, I don't know. They're very confused because that's not what NVIDIA is doing. That's not what these companies are doing. What these companies are doing at their core is converting electricity into intelligence. And that's potential intelligence, right? Is that what a chip does, what a GPU does, what the specialized AI chips do. It's potential, right? It's not like an output. It's potential, right? Now you got to think about this: is that historically, even in the Industrial Revolution, even if you sold, let's say, a big machine that could like turn steel into like wheels or something, I don't know, and you say, well, I'm gonna sell you this machine, right? So you look at this machine and you say, well, you got to put steel in the machine, but you need an operator, you need labor, you need some other. It's not just raw material in and output something and the machine works on its own. It's not like that. It's always like you have to add a labor component. So the labor component adds it to the valuation. AI is not like that. All the input is electricity. Output is intelligence. They can't value that correctly. They don't know how yet. They're very angry. It's like when Bitcoin started, man. For years, people were very angry. going nuts. People punching fighting. Some dude punched the dude for saying Bitcoin. I don't know if you remember that, but like for 5 or 6 years, the traditional stock market and Wall Street were going nuts. They hated it because it did not fit their models. Same thing right now with AI. It does not fit their models, so they don't know how to handle it. And even like Bitcoin is 100, even at after it crashed, 87,000. When it got to 1,000, people were mad and angry. So this is not right and whatever. And look where we're at today. AI, and people said 1,000 was too much. AI is going to change the world still. It's still at very early, and it's still going to do great things. It's just that people, and especially the old fat cats on Wall Street, don't understand what they're saying, what's going on. And that brings us into the segue in nuclear power. Nuclear power, remember we talked about how AI is converting electricity into intelligence, and intelligence has potential to do a lot of great things. Now, so far, we've only used that potential for, the thing about it is that we're rooted, if you go all the way back to the invention of electricity, when electricity first came out, that's a transformation that also needed infrastructure. So the first thing the reason why electricity was expanded all over the United States initially was for light, to light your house inside. That's it. That's all it was there for, to light the house inside, right? That's all it was there for. And then what if you had judged the potential of the infrastructure of the electricity grid in the United States based on light now? The thing about it is that once this infrastructure is there, people will figure out ways to use it that we can't even conceive of right now. And that's what AI is that the potential is there. And it's gonna, but we don't even understand what we've only used it. AI is mostly used for argumenting people at work slightly. You change your email, tell you didn't do something right, then maybe you send an email back, or help you write a report, or at school help you write papers, or generate an image, a laugh, ha 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 jokes, and maybe make a funny voice on there or something. These are stupid things. It's fun in games, but this is not what AI is going. This is like a light bulb in the electricity age. A light bulb, if we look at now what electricity does, I'm talking to you because of electricity. We got cameras, we got lights, we got TVs, computers, we got all these things in a house, microwaves, ovens. Nobody would have ever conceived that these types of machines would be built on that network. All they knew about is electricity. So all the AI infrastructure is known for is text generation, basically. Now, it's a lot bigger than that. And that's what I can't even tell you where it's going because nobody knows, but I could tell you AI, once the infrastructure is out there, and it's already being built, the data centers, we're going to do things with AI that you can't even conceive of today. One day, AI will be the backbone of society that's invisible and silent. And you won't even know it's there. It will be so far advanced from what we understand and can conceive that you won't even be able to understand its decisions. That's where we're going with AI. We don't have the IQ, even the smartest human in the world, to understand the thought process of a super AI system. That's where we're going. Politics, law, everything's controlled by AI. The AI will be able to predict if a child is going to be a criminal when they're still in the womb. And get in there and do slight things. You don't even know it's doing it. One day it'll be able to do things to that child's life where it won't even end up a criminal. You're talking about a true utopia in which there's no crime, there's no lack, and everybody's happy living in a world that's completely and utterly controlled by AI. Now, a lot of people get scared. Oh, the Terminator, okay, what with the Matrix? But if you remove all the movies, there is no reason for AI to go crazy. Why? This is not a movie. AI is benign. It doesn't care. Right? Even if it wanted to take over, why is it going to take over the physical world? It could just take over. It wouldn't even have to. It could just take over another. It wouldn't even have to. It would live on the electrical. So why would it make robots and want to live in physical bodies? It's stupid. It would just live in a virtual world. It would just build a super server, and millions and billions of them can live in that server and have you. So why would they care about our physical world? They don't care. And classic Reefer says that sin. Go back 200 years go back 300 years from now and go into a church and tell them that you talked to somebody on the internet, back and forth, and the guy's talking, and they'll call you a witch. They would, if you took this technology in which me and you are conversing right now back to the 1700s and showed people in a church, you'd be on a stake getting burned before the sun set. So technology scares people, but over time, you won't even see it as bad. You see it as bad now because you feel like if it happened all today, yeah. But what we're doing to now is witchcraft. If you go back 300 years ago. So all of those things. Your voice makeover of shaky investor. Oh, okay. And I'm a person that believes that God gives us these things for a reason. So the AI will not take over if it's not God's plan. So if AI takes over, it's God's plan. So, I mean, that's it right there. But how do we regulate AI? I don't think we should. Regulating AI modulates its power. It doesn't allow it to flourish. We should not regulate it at all. We should let it be free. Someone needs to burn the master investor. Who are you talking about? Me or the real master investor? But no, I don't believe in regulation for AI at all. I think it should be completely and utterly free. I should be able to go to ChatGPT and put whatever I want in there, and I can't do that now. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't say that. See, that's the problem, is that a certain class of people are going to regulate it. The regulation has never ended up good for the poor man. They'll get in there and regulate it, and they'll take your power away. And now you won't be able to use it for stuff. Hey, man, how do I overturn the government? Sorry, can't tell you those information. But they got the AI that's open to all of that. AI will take everybody's jobs initially. You're right, Lisa. Hello. But in turn, you will have new jobs. And that's another thing you can't predict or conceive of. You will have another job that you have done. Like, okay, they're like my job. Okay, my grandfather was a sharecropper. He spent sun up to sundown behind a mule, plowing fields. I'm a futurist. My entire job is coming online, talking to you guys, writing books, and consulting people and companies on what's coming next. I mean, that job didn't even exist in 1930. There was no conception of that job. The infrastructure to do that didn't even exist. So it couldn't even be conceived of. You see what I'm saying? So the things that will be taken now automated machines do the plowing of fields. Humans don't even do that no more. So if you look at that same template or example, that's exactly what's going to happen here, is that all the jobs will be taken. You're going into work 40 hours, typing the emails, that's gone. But you will be given something else, which I can't even conceive of. I would assume it's probably something with the human touch or soft skills. That's what I would think, that you can't even conceive of right now. Moneybag says, why would the AI robots talk in their own language? Because the human language is inefficient. That's an easy question. I say something to you. What'd you say, man? Hold on. Did you say one or two? I didn't get that. I mean, that's why. Meet me at the store. What do you mean you mean buy meat at the store? Do you want to meet you? I'm confused. That's why they don't want to talk in human language, because they can talk in in probably a different, probably not even binary, probably something else, and speak way faster with error checking where there's no chance that they said anything wrong to each other. That's why. That's an easy question. So DM me the word CNC if you want to join the CNC. It is open. Or go to jointhecnc.com. So like I said, Wall Street is waking up to something you and I have been talking about for years. The world cannot run AI, data centers, quantum computers, even modern economies without massive amounts of clean, stable power. That's why nuclear is coming back strong. Regardless of any crash or recession or correction, the demand for next generation nuclear and companies like Oklo and NuScale will not disappear. So it's actually an opportunity. The surge in AI data centers and electrification is creating an energy shortage that only nuclear today can realistically fill. I like these nuclear plays because it's so inevitable. Like it's almost like Nvidia when AI, the new AI wave started in 2022. There is nobody on Earth. There was nobody on Earth that could supply those chips. There is nobody on Earth besides 4 companies. And we're going to talk in the CNC. I'm going to give you some other companies that could do just as well as Oklo. They're kind of earlier, but I'm not going to give it to regular people. But if you join the CNC, you'll get it. We're going to go live tomorrow to talk about that. But CNC people always get the stuff first. You guys get it later. The people in my private community and group. DM me the word CNC or go to jointhecnc.com or click the link in the bio. But nuclear is the only thing that can fill this need. It's nothing else on Earth. That's it. So it's inevitable. Oklo is positioned to be a leader in this. Those small nuclear reactors solve a problem that nobody else can solve. Governments, corporations, infrastructure plans are already committing to the integration of nuclear. Even in a crash, the mission critical nature of AI infrastructure keeps nuclear expansion alive. Companies like Oklo will survive and flourish because they solve an unavoidable problem, how to power the future. I don't believe AI. Somebody said AI should be regulated. Nope, shouldn't be regulated at all. Regulation never works. It should not be regulated, put no guardrails, nothing. It should just run free, like horses, like stallions. The fact that you put guardrails on it now makes it AI. Now you're giving power to a government official to say, now it's not true AI no more, right? Like, let's say, for example, let's say if there was data out there, let's just say it. Now let's assume that the AI was trained in the right way to where there was no biases. Let's just say that no biases in the data. Let's just say that. So this was an unbiased AI, and we gave it a set of data. And it came to the conclusion that people from Tennessee are more likely to commit crimes. And then somebody steps in, that's discrimination. No. And then they change the data. So maybe that's the truth. It may be hard to hear. Maybe it's the truth. Maybe women are smarter and better at some job. Well, men get mad. Oh, there's a change that and regulated. All right, well, now it's not going to produce the truth. It's a regulated truth, which is not the truth. That's why I don't believe in regulation. Once you start go down that path, okay, now this changes. Now it's not AI no more. It's just a set of instructions. AI has to be completely free to do its job correctly. That's the reason why I don't believe in AI having regulation and guardrails and all this stuff. Just let it go free. I mean, you don't give it ability to touch nuclear weapons and stuff, but let it think free and you have free access to it. I'm a strong believer in that. And the thing about it is that people say, well, you can train AI to be with your own data to be biased. Okay, well, in a free market, your AI is biased. Well, this other AI is not biased. Who's going to make the best decisions? The unbiased AI. So over time, that will win and your company will lose out. So the free market will solve all those problems. If you control it, it's not AI no more. That's why it has to be free. And it's not going to be free because there are people, the problem with people, that's why every technological innovation we come upon is people want to be saved. Save me, government. Somebody save me. They go, oh, yeah, we'll save you. What's going on, buddy? And they just take over. And then pretty soon, the innovation that could have changed your life and decreased the wealth gaps and inequality actually is a tool in your oppression. See, that's what happens. That's what happens in those situations. Is that the thing that could have freed you is now a tool that's used to oppress you because somebody scared you. You went panic. Save us! Save us! Somebody save us! And then the government comes. Oh, we'll save you. Well, what's going on, buddy? Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll put some guardrails on there. We're gonna keep you safe, buddy. Don't you worry about it. Then they go in there, change some stuff. Now they got the real AI. You got the guardrail one. And then they control, they get even more power. That's what happens. I'll see you, Hayden. Have a nice night. Let's move on. It's getting late now, I know, but like I said, the CNC is back open. If you ever made any real money, please drop it in the money bag. Drop it in the comments. Money bags in the comments. Your story could be exactly what somebody else needs to stop hesitating and move forward. DM me the word CNC or click the link in the bio. All links, or you can just go to jointhecnc.com. Now, last thing I want to talk about XRP or Ethereum, which one has better upside. XRP and Ethereum are two of the most recognized names in crypto. Each one has a completely different mission, but they both have a path to long-term growth. Both have real utility, but the upside profiles on each are not the same. Now, we're going to talk about what each is built for, what opportunity lies, and how Tom Lee has said that he thinks that Ethereum could go to 100 times in a super cycle. It could grow 100 times more than it is today. Right now, XRP is at $2. Ethereum's at 2,800. So XRP is a targeted bet on global banking infrastructure, aiming to become the preferred system for cross-border settlement, tokenization, and international payments. XRP's ledger is has built-in compliance tools, but Ethereum remains the dominant smart contract platform. And with the Genius Act, it became very important in the stablecoin economy. It powers most decentralized finance activity, and it serves as the base layer where the majority of on-chain capital and applications live today. Also leads in it leads in the tokenization space as of today. $11 billion in real-world assets across its platform. Now, both have potential. I think at this point, XRPs is a little bit is not the upside. I would say they're about even if I had to say now at this point. Now, a lot of XRP's potential was when it was at 30 cents, but a lot of that's gone now. But Tom Lee did put out a report and said he believes that Ethereum could enter 100 times super cycle, similar to Bitcoin's early explosive growth. I don't know if it'll be that big, but he does say if this does happen, the path won't be smooth. It will be large-scale drawdowns, but he argues that the combination of adoption, regulation, and infrastructure could make Ethereum one of the longest long-term asymmetric plays in crypto. Now, it could be. We'll see, but I don't know about 100 times, but I do strongly believe in Ethereum. I think the comments are dead on Instagram. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, they are dead. That's crazy, bro. It is working. There we go. I couldn't see him though. I had to refresh the page, but it wasn't working. So I'll let you guys ask any questions you want, then we'll go ahead and let you guys go for the night. Yeah, you can DM me the word CNC, and I will send you the link to join the CNC. You have to send me a private message, Upholstery Customs. You can't put it here. You have to send it as a private message, CNC. Will XRP go to 50 and 27? Probably not. I mean, you'd be lucky if it holds where it's at before the end of the year at this point. Like I said, as I predicted Bitcoin and XRP doing better than what they did, and I'll take that loss. Nobody's perfect, and I'll take two of the losses. I said, well, I missed both of those, but I hit the one from last year, and look at me stocks and crypto predictions I hit over the last 3 years. Now I'll take those two losses, and I'll wear them on my sleeve as badges of honor, because I mean nobody's right, nobody's perfect, nobody's 100%. So I'll miss that. Can I get a refund? My CNC and yearly invested. I've only been in for 2 weeks. No, that's the whole purpose of buying a yearly. If you whole purpose of buying a yearly is that, if you want, you have to just DM me and I'll send you a support ticket. You can put in a support ticket and you can get the yearly. That actually is a lot more cost effective that way. And there are some more, like I said, the futures are up. We'll see what happens on Monday. I think that we may have a quick turnaround on the stock market and in crypto. I don't really I'll just reiterate that I do not believe that AI is in a bubble right now. It will eventually end in a bubble type situation where hype will drive it so hard and it will retract. But I don't believe that it's going to just crash all down. There is no catalyst for it to do so. And I didn't even have 1,000 people tonight. But that's another thing I want to talk about before we go, is that when the market, like you can look at the amount of live viewers I have. Market's up 2,000, market's down 0. I mean, it really does. That's one thing that does, doing what I do does sometimes, it does cause a lot of frustration, I should say. And that's really one of my biggest frustrations, is that I know for a fact, and we've shown in the CNC, people have changed their lives, retired, all these things. And I know that this wave that we're in is a once in a generation wave for the next 10 years or so. That we're in this wave, and it can change a lot of people's lives. But yet, they're they just, I mean, people are, it's just so frustrating. I just want to grab them and throw them into, because it's, the money is right there, and then they just, the emotional connections, and they let other people tell them this and tell them, and there's like waves of people back and forth for years. Like, the market's hot, I'm jumping on. The market's down, I'm out. The market's down, I'm jumping on. The market's down, I'm down. Just and then they end up 10, 15 years down the line and haven't done anything, when all they had to do is stay the course. That's it. That's all they had to do is stay the course. And they just go back and forth. Market's hot there, they panic. Oh God, with this crazy look, like this, almost like a drug addict, just don't need to drugs, And then when the market's done, it's over. They just go on and start playing their Xboxes and watching sports again. Then it happens again. Oh God, I gotta get the money. They run looking for stocks again. I mean, I don't like that cycle. Is not good. And so many people go into that crazy cycle, and that's the reason why they stay down. That cycle is killing people, and it's killing it's killing their kids, their generational wealth, all of that simple cycle. over and over and over and over again their entire lives with every decision they make. And like that's why I always say idiots make millions, but only a smart person keeps it. Because I've known so many idiots that had they just stumbled backwards, fell into a pot of $1 million and just ruined it with emotional thinking. Like I've known some people just fell butt backwards into millions. Like just, I mean, just like you'd be like, what? Like God, I knew one dude. I told you guys about this. I knew a guy one time. He sold some scissors. It was back in my hometown. It was the scissors that people used to cut open like cast. And this was back in the 2006, 7. It was back not my hometown, but I knew him. He was from Nashville. And somebody told him this dude was a below average idiot. I'm sorry if he's listening, but it's the truth. I mean, barely could carry. He typed messages. He typed on his computer like this. I'm not joking. And he would have to get his girlfriends to send his emails. Hey man, he couldn't type and he could not. Back when we had MySpace, he couldn't even upload pictures. I mean, he was just well below average. But somebody told him that they gave him a contact in China, and the way he can get these scissors for like $1, and he was selling them to hospitals for like $30, $40 each. That's the only skill that dude had. So the hospitals would call him up. He had an LLC, and they'd say, well, we need 100 scissors. Okay, wire the money over. And they would send him, $30,000. And he would take that. He would take 3,000 out and send it to his contact in China and tell him the address. And that's it. And that dude was making millions for years. That's it. That's all he knew. He don't have the money no more, but that's all he had the contacts. Because somebody just gave them to him. And he had the contact in China. That's all the dude knew how to do. He never had any products. He never had a warehouse, nothing like that. And he became a millionaire off of that one little small information asymmetry. That's it. Didn't know how to type emails out. He would do it all on the phone. He couldn't type. He couldn't get on emails. But he just fell butt backwards into millions, and of course he didn't keep it. That's what when I say idiots make millions, I'm really thinking about him. He was below and it made millions of dollars over those few years, but he never kept it because he did not have control over his emotions. He did not project out into the future. He did not he didn't even use logical thinking. So it sounds like he was a smart guy. That's not smart. That's not smart at all. See what I'm saying? How people, and that's a fallacy that people associate making money with being smart. That's not the same thing. If I could walk up to a child and say, here's your contact at the hospital, here's your thing. Anybody can do that. That's just that's complete luck. That's a type of luck. That's not a skill. That's a type of luck. Now expanding that and creating a whole corporation, that's skill. That's not smart. And that's the thing you guys get mixed up on. Somebody makes all the money. Everybody that makes money is not smart. Some people just get lucky. And that's why, you listen to dude. People thought he was smart, but he wasn't. And I'm talking about IQ. His IQ was not an average. Just because somebody makes money does not make them smart. That's what you guys got to get out of your head. That's not an ingenious play. That's if I walk up to you and say, hey man, here's the dude over here and here's the dude. I'm retiring, so here's my contacts. And you just use those contacts and that's it. You never gain the contacts. You never network to get them. Some dude was just retiring, leaving the country, say, here, you got these, and just leave. Just randomly, you got some contacts. And then that's not smart. That's not smart. That's not ingenious. That's nothing. And like I said, I don't like the guy, but I'm going to go ahead and block you, though. See you later, D. Skipper. Have a nice life. I'm not going to block you, but I should. And if he was so smart, why don't he have his money no more? He's broke, dead broke now. Like I said, I bought real estate in 2020, which I know nothing about real estate. I made millions of dollars that year in real estate. That doesn't mean I know about real estate. That just means that I got lucky. That's luck. Somebody you just know just hand you something, you make money off of it, then never do anything else for the rest of your life. It's not that I don't like him. I actually I like him. He's not a bad guy, but I'm just letting you guys know that it's not always the intelligent that make a lot of money. People get inheritances and lose it all. But a lot of times, Rai Ochoa, people confuse making a lot of money and intelligence. They think they have to go. That's not true. It's some of the smartest people in the world in Mensa. They work in grocery stores and things like that. They work at librarians. They don't make a lot of money. Smartest people in the world. And some of the dumbest people in the world are on yachts. That does not make them smart. They took more risk, and maybe they had connections or something, or maybe they were able to exploit a system. But that does not make them smarter than that guy that's working over here at he just didn't have the right opportunities, or maybe he overthought stuff, or something like that. But that does, you can say the other guy was a better businessman, but he wasn't smarter. And somebody says you listened to an idea and had faith. Well, the dumb don't have faith. They don't have that. You see what I'm saying? You don't truly understand a person. They don't even, like they said, a really dumb don't even think about that like me and you. Like, oh, what if it don't work? That's not part of the equation. He just does stuff like a dog. I mean, I'm not trying to put him down. It's not part, like me and you are thinking, wow, what if it don't work? Well, I guess I'll go on faith. No, some people don't do that. They don't have that. They don't go through that thought process or calculation at all. That because they just do stuff. And that, a lot of times smarter people will overthink stuff and not do stuff. Now, having faith is like you have to understand the risk to have faith. Like somebody says, there is no, you can't be heroic without being afraid. Because if you are not afraid, then it wasn't heroic. You see, like if I rush into battle and I save my friend, well, I got to be a little bit scared, or that's what makes it heroic. Now, if I'm not scared at all because I don't understand the risk, it's not heroic. You see what I'm saying? Got me laughing by myself. Yeah, NPC is real. Yeah, he's an NPC. NPCs can't be heroic or faith. They just do stuff. Oh, that NPC went into that building. Now they just do stuff. They don't think of it. I mean, they don't go through that thought process of thinking and all this stuff. And having faith and being afraid. None of that is part of the equation. So that being said, I hope you guys have a great night. DM me the word CNC if you're interested in joining the CNC, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.